Hi, everybody. I hope you could hear me okay. I hope you could see me okay. I apologize for this hair hat thing I have going on, but I got the best recommendation on shampoo and conditioner, and it was so good when I washed my hair. I didn't even put any hair product in my hair. It was that good. So it's been 2 days since I washed it, so it was like really soft and frizzy, and I've been to the gym a couple times, so we just decided to leave it. I'm just babbling. And the hair product is called, it's Biolage Keratin Dose. Like, smells amazing, deposits keratin, paraben free, sulfate free, like the best. I will put, you guys remind me because I always forget, but I will put links to that below. But it doesn't make your hair look bad. I just don't have any product in my curly hair, so it's fried and not fried. It's soft and like frizzy and a mess. Hey, sweetie. Thank you so much. I hope you had a wonderful week too. I don't know why I'm playing with my shirt. So I decided last minute, if you guys saw my video on my lunch break today, I decided last minute I was going to do a live Q&A tonight. So I don't know how many people we are going to have on. Hey, yoga. But I was supposed to be at Visit this weekend. The facility went on lockdown on Wednesday, and so visits, they're still on lockdown. I haven't heard from him. My girlfriends who have loved ones at the same facility as well have not heard from their loved ones. Somebody called. They are still on lockdown. Visits are canceled until further notice. I do believe that it's possibly stemming to the murder that happened at FCI Hazelton earlier. I'm sorry, I keep saying FCI, USP in the high security Hazelton earlier in the week. It was a very high profile case or person that was unfortunately killed. I spoke about that also in the video right before this one. It's called it was called something about updates, and we're doing a live video tonight, but I changed it to This Man Interrupted My Video because he knocked on my window while I was videoing. It was hysterical. And I kept it running live while I was talking to him because, hello, you guys need to participate on that too. But I'm telling you all of this really long-winded in a way to tell you that this was last minute. Go to Visit. Any advice on how to get through those rough days when you're missing your husband? Oh, that's a really good question. And that's exactly what I was just about to say, is that I was missing him today. So I just had so much going on. I was traveling. We went to Prisoner Family Conference, which was amazing. And if you guys want to see my experience as well as all the other volunteers that went with us, I do have a video about that. It's called Our Experience at a Prisoner Family Conference. It's on a couple of videos before. But all that to say, it's like weird and nerdy. Apologies. Do you share why I was put in jail? I don't know if it's offensive to you. Nope, it's not offensive to ask Jill. And if I forget, because I'm talking a mile a minute trying to answer everybody, just remind me. I have no problem sharing what happened and about his case. But so I haven't seen him since early September, so it's been a little while, and I miss him a lot. So when I discovered, I just had a weird feeling that something was going to happen when I discovered that we weren't going to have Visit this weekend. I was like a little bummed. Part of me was bummed. Part of me was kind of relieved because I got the day back. I'm running out of days off at work. So I was kind of relieved that I could have the day back. I was kind of relieved that I didn't have to drive 6 hours, but I was also heartbroken, of course, not only for myself, but for my friends. I had 2 girlfriends that were supposed to be coming with me to visit, and one actually had plane tickets coming up from Florida, and it was her birthday. So that was like really crappy and crummy. And at one point, I was like, fine, like it happens. This is not the first time this has ever happened to me, and I just kind of have to go on with my life. So at one point today, I started to get really upset. I started to get really down, and thankfully it lasted very quickly, but I took the day back. I retracted my day off, and I went into work today because I had no reason to waste the day. And I just thought about my friend whose birthday it was. Oh shoot, I forgot to shut off my notifications. I am so sorry, guys. But are we still good? I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened to my phone. Are you guys still there? I still see it counting on my end. Can somebody just comment and let me know if you're still there, because that sucked. It like flashed to another screen and Instagram just popped up on my phone. That was weird. And all of your comments just disappeared. But the counter's still going on my time, and it's saying that we're live. Okay, thanks, sweetheart. Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so anyway. So I got down for a minute. I was just thinking about my friend, and all of a sudden it just hit me like I missed him so much. And I almost started to cry. I just miss him a lot today. So what I did, and again, this is easier for me right now because I've been doing this for so long, was I just distracted myself. Like my friend said, I'm sorry this is going to keep happening. I apologize. I wish I could turn off the notifications, but if I do that, I'm going to lose you guys. But anyway, so I I just had to pull myself together, and I just had to distract myself, and I just had to not think about it for a few minutes. So I know that's easier said for me because I've been here for so long, but on those days where you just really miss him and you're sad, think about good things, think about good times. Do something to distract yourself. Don't think about it at all. Just try to get through your motions, go through the motions of life, and do what you have to do. Do your responsibilities. You know, I had up, I had to go to work. I went to the gym afterwards because that's my release. Do the things that you have to do. You're still going to miss him and it's still going to suck, but you have to still continue to go on with life. And then eventually he'll call. You know, you could do things like reread his letters if that's not going to make you like sob and bawl. But sometimes I do things that make me feel closer to him. You know, I'll just shoot him an email like, I miss you so much. Or I printed out a whole bunch of pictures and I sent them to him because I know when he gets those, it's going to make him smile. So just things like that. I think it was Jill asked what is the background story on him, and you know what, I'm gonna do a whole video on that because he's serving this crazy longer than life 213-year sentence, and nobody was hurt. And so if nobody was hurt, nobody was killed during his crimes. But he's in the federal system and they have mandatory minimum sentencing laws. And because of the fact that he had a gun on his person, he had a gun on him, he did not brandish it, he did not use it, it was in his pocket. But they can still charge you with what is called 924C, which is a statute. It's the firearm statute in the criminal code of the United States Constitution. So what happens is a lot of times these prosecutors they dangle that over you to get you to cooperate because it's the only law in the United States Constitution that is written where the charges need to run consecutively, meaning one after another. So your first charge has to finish. So he got 8 years for the underlying crime. He has to finish those 8 years before the next charge kicks in, which is 5 years. And then the next charge, which is 25 on top of 25 on top of 25. Every other law is written that they can be run concurrently on top of each other. So 8 years and then 5 years on top of it, the max would still be 8. And then 25 years on top of it, the max would still be 25. So, he had 9 charges of robbery, and I will get into those another time. If you want to see the breakdown, if you want to see the specifics, I built a website for him, www.helpfreeadam.com. If somebody could throw that in the comments so Jill can see that specifically, please do helpfreeadam.com. And if you have any further questions, I am an open book. And I know you asked, is that like off-putting or is that not right to ask? I don't think it's a problem. Some people think that it's don't ask, don't tell, like don't ask another prison wife what her husband's in for. I don't follow that rule. Like I'm not just going to meet somebody at visit and be like, what's he in for? But if I'm building a friendship with somebody, I have no problem asking in the right way at the right time what he's in for. Again, I've been doing this a really, really long time. Hey, sweetheart. So I've how long has he served so far? It's been 18 years. So I call this overtime because again, 8 years for the underlying crime, and the max that he could have done, the end of his guideline range was 20 years. So really he's at the very end because if he was eligible for halfway house, which he's not because 213 years, he'd be he would have gotten his good time. So he'd be done actually with the halfway house by now because 18 years is 20% of 20, right? So, but I can get into Adam and his case another time. If you guys want me to go like really in depth about the case and how much time he's done and all that stuff, just comment and I will do that for you in the future. But I want to make this video for you guys, about you guys. Okay, so I didn't see any other questions pop up yet. You probably posted them, but I just have not seen them yet. Let me see if I can go. Oh, thank you so much. You're so inspiringly strong. Can't speak, but I'm strong. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay. So somebody said, I got this one on Instagram. How do you deal with doubts of your own strength when the pressure and the stress almost become too much? It's really, really hard, and you will uncover a strength that you never knew existed within you when you go through this. I mean, when you go through this from the very beginning, from trial, getting him ripped away from you, dealing with life, you know, if you met him before, MBI, dealing with all that. If you met him after, dealing with the loss of what you want with somebody in your life. Did I say MWI means met him while he was already incarcerated? So there's just a lot of struggle involved in this life, and there's a lot of there are a lot of hardships and there are a lot of ups and downs and emotional roller coasters. Even at the smallest example, not that it's teeny, but today, like what if I took the day off of work? What if I got in my car? What if I spent money on gas driving 6 hours, spent money on a hotel room for 3 nights that is non-refundable? What if all of that happened and I got there and tomorrow morning when I arrived, they're like, oh no, they're on lockdown. That is excruciating, right? That is a hardship. That sucks. I'm out all this money. I'm out wanting to see him. I'm out driving all of that wear and tear on my car, and I'm out a day off of work. In the grand scheme of things that could go wrong, that's not at the top of the list, but that's pretty shitty. Sorry, that's pretty crummy. So you're gonna find that you have to uncover a strength that you didn't know existed. Something that was even worse was back when Adam applied for clemency, because he gets 3 appeals in the federal system and all 3 are exhausted. After that, you guys that have people in the state systems or do not know this, there is no parole in the federal system unless you are one of 3 types of an inmate. You are out of DC, your case is out of DC, then you are eligible for parole. If your case is a military case, so if you're in the military when you call your case and you are eligible, then you can get parole. And then the last one is if you were sentenced before a certain year called old law, those inmates still get parole. Everybody else does not get any type of parole or anything. It's set in stone. So unless a law changes, unless there is a precedental case, did I say that right? Precedential, whatever, a case that comes down that changes the outcome of your case, or you're granted precedential clemency, I can't say these words tonight, then you're stuck, right? So we applied for that in the 2016 Obama era when he did that initiative. And they said, and I'm sorry, I feel like I always repeat these stories, but it's relevant here. So I apologize for you guys that it's a repeat, just stick around and I have tons of questions and answers for you guys. But I want to explain this to the person who said this because I went through something crushing and I had to uncover a strength that I really didn't know existed and I really didn't know how I was going to bounce back from it. And to be completely 100% transparent, I still don't think I have. And it's been 2 years. So anyway, we applied for it. And then they said they were going to get through every single petition. They promised that before President Obama was out of office. So we waited, and every few weeks they would release a list of names of people who were granted clemency. And then every few weeks after that, or a week or so after that, they would release a list of names that were denied clemency. Done. Closed. So we never knew when this was going to happen. It was when they decided it was going to happen. So you're just it was a waiting game. So every time a list of names came out, it was like a mad dash. You would hear the list came out, but then you would have to search for the names. And I would have all my friends looking for the names. We were all anxious. We were all a mess. They were all sitting there trying to figure out how they were going to console me if it was bad or how we were going to celebrate together if it was good. And it would always be that they were trying to console me when it was bad. And then somebody would have to tell me or I would have to find it and I would be crushed. And then the denial list came out and the same thing would happen all over again. And he wouldn't be on it. And I was elated and there was still hope. And this happened until the very last day. And we were told that his petition made it to the vice president's desk. So the day of the inauguration or the night before, we were like, no, it's over. And somebody else was like, no. They're doing a list tomorrow morning, right before Trump takes over. Sometimes bad information happens, rumors happen and they spread. So I waited. And that morning, I'm sorry, there is a cord over here and it keeps falling and I think it's making noise. And I'm so sorry that my notification. Are you guys still there? Are you guys still there? It's counting on my end. I'm so sorry, but I was able to shut off my notifications. So I'm hoping you're still there because it kept now Hangouts just popped up on my phone because my sister texted me on Google Hangouts. So I'm going to wait around if you guys are still there. It says that there are still 20 something people on there and their counter is still going. So can somebody just in the comments let me know if I'm still there? I apologize. I don't know why I forgot to shut off my notifications on the phone, but we should be good now. I don't know what this means, but maybe it means I promise you. Have you considered being a lawyer? You're so well versed. Oh, that's so sweet. No, because I don't understand law in the least, and I do not even want to try to begin to understand it. And if you guys are still there, just somebody let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to start this again. The same comments keep popping. So let's see, let me scroll down. You're back. Okay. So no, I just have no desire to be. I'm actually very shy in real life. I'm very conflict. I do not like anything like that. like this isn't real life, but I would not be good as a lawyer. Absolutely not. How old am I? I just turned 40 in July, but don't tell. Okay, so what other comments? Point is, okay, there was Clemency, and then the very office when Trump did his, and I was trying not to cry hysterically because that meant it was over. And then I remember for the next probably 6 weeks, I would literally spontaneously just all of a sudden tears would come out in the most inconvenient times and situations, at my desk at work, at the wait. That was right when I had surgery on my foot. So I had to keep every week going back to the doctor. So at the waiting room, at the doctor's office, I would just start crying because it was just like literally we had his backs packed and he was coming home. At my desk at work, I said that. At the gym, you name it, like with my nieces and nephews, and I would just kind of like get lost. And then tears would come, and I remember one time my niece was like, what's the matter? And I was like, oh no, nothing, I just got something in my eye, like what are you gonna say? And so that was really, 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 really hard. Stronger than you know. And you have to remind yourself that you have a choice. You either have to figure out how you're going to be strong and get through it, or how you're going to walk away, because those are your options. I mean, it sucks, and you have to be tough as nails to get through this. But if you can't and you don't want to, nobody is telling you that you have to stay. You just have to figure out what you want out of life, what you want out of this, and if you want to do it. And or maybe if you just want to put it on hold, live your life, and then potentially come back to it when there's less time or when he comes out. He can't get mad at you for that. He can't, I mean, he can get mad all he wants, but it's your life that you're living. And if there's a lot of time involved, and especially if you're young, then you have to figure out how you're going to, what you're gonna do. Okay, but I promise you, you're so much stronger than you give yourself credit for, and you're so much stronger than you know. And it just takes going through these tough times to realize how tough and strong you actually are. Okay, so I have another one. Okay, I think this came through Facebook, through the Invisible Shackles page, and she said, request for tonight's video, how to handle talking with others or not about your situation. Excellent question. So there are I took a class on coping, specifically people in our situation, and there are the 3 E's. I loved this lesson and I use it all the time, and I pass it along all the time, that you can, in the back of your mind, remember if and when you want to pass this along in your reasoning for doing it. 1, if you want to empathize with somebody. So if you meet somebody and they tell you their situation and it's similar to yours and you're like, hey, I totally get it, I can empathize with you because here's my situation. Number 2, if you want to educate somebody. So if somebody's being ignorant or naive, or they just don't know, and you want to use your experience to teach them, make it a teaching moment, then you can use your experience to educate them. And number 3, if you want to, I always forget the third one, educate, empathize, and then empower and encourage. So if you want to use your situation to help somebody feel good, to help empower somebody, to pass your power along and help them find their own power in their situation. Just like I said, here's how I found my strength. Here's how you will find your strength and figure out that you're so much stronger than you know. I am using my experiences to help you empower yourself to get through it as well. Those are the 3 times, or the 3 E's, where you feel, where you can decide if you want to tell your story. But here is the thing, you guys, and I need you to hear me in this. You do not owe it to anybody to talk about this. You do not need to justify yourself and your situation and your relationship to anybody. Because honestly, think about it. Like, my boss doesn't come into work and she's like, hey, come in my office, let's talk about the fight I had with my boyfriend last night. Or even my coworker coming in and being like, hey, I'm married, do you want to hear about my husband, his name, what he looks like? It's not something that you have to talk about. So figure out if it's somebody that you truly trust, if it's something that you truly want to divulge, but you are not obligated to do that. Your private life is that. It's private, and you can keep it separate from your professional life. You can keep it separate from anything, from making new friends. You can keep it, like for me, I keep it out of the gym because I'm there all the time. It's up to you if and when and how you're going to tell your story, and you are not in any way obligated to tell anybody anything about your personal life. So I hope that helps. Okay, the next one. I would like to request, I believe this was on Facebook as well. What can be done about the conditions of the facility my husband is in? There's worms in the green beans. Ugh. He's denied medical. Great question. So, and then there was also another question about how disgusting the food is and how it's not fit for human consumption. So I think those are like 2 in 1 for this. And what I was taught from him on the inside is this: you need to, trying to figure out how to say this because I don't want to say this wrong, but you need to bark up the right tree. You need to, like, you know that saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. However, I want to caveat that, like, I want to disclaimer that and say you got to do it the right way. Like, you can't just bitch and complain and moan and complain to the COs when you're there, because that's going to get you nowhere. But you need to call up the chain. You need to call, if you're in the feds, you need to call the warden, and then you need to call the region, and then you need to call whomever you need to call up the chain, the senators, the congressmen, and even the president's desk if you need to. Will they hear you or talk to you? I have no idea. Will President Trump get on the phone with you? Come on, no. But your senators, your congressmen, you need to make noise. You have to do it in a way, however, that you have proof. You have to do it professionally, and you have to do it in a way where you're not just acting jaded, bitter, or combative, because that's going to get you nowhere. You have to have your facts. You have to be able to present them in the right manner. And if you need to, get legal involved. There are advocacy groups. Find the ACLU in your state and contact them. Any type of inmate advocacy group, and contact them and work with them and ask them how you go about doing this. The best that I found is the ACLU that will help you, but you could reach out to a lawyer that has a free consultation, and you could figure it out that way. It is a shame. It happens everywhere. The system is so corrupt. I was in a lecture where somebody who served a few years in the feds, maybe 10 years or something like that, said that they literally took boxes out when he worked in the kitchen. They would take boxes out of the freezer, and one opened up and it was in Russian. Like, they couldn't read what the writing said, but it was like so old and so rotten or whatever it was that it was like ash. It was just crumbled ash on the inside, and they were expected to turn this into food and make it into something for 500 people or 1,000 people to eat. There was also times where they took boxes out of the closets or the refrigerators or the freezers, and it would literally say on the cardboard of the box, not fit for human consumption, and they were forced to turn that into a meal and to serve it. It happens. It sucks. It's disgusting. And the only way we're going to change that is to, like I said, make sure that you have the facts, make sure that you have the right people, and make sure that you present them in the right way. Call your senators, call your Congress people. It is what it is. Block Dustin jealous. Block Dustin jealous. What does this mean? Can you explain visits? I'm sorry, you guys. Your things flash so fast. Agreed. I don't see. Oh, let's see if we can remove. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Okay, we're going to report him. Okay. Thanks, guys, for that. I mean, I could shut my trap, but I know I'm beautiful, but that really wouldn't be a fun video for me to just sit here silently with my trap shut. Just look at me. We could all stare at each other all night. That would be no fun, Dustin. Anyway, okay. So, I wish I had no life and I could join you in YouTube Live to talk trash, whatever. Ha ha ha. Okay, why is he still here? Yes, I have a lot of jokes. Stick around. If for some reason I can't get rid of you, stick around. We'll play. Okay. What's worth complaining about and what's just part of it? How to shift yourself from grumpy towards gratitude, and how to have a life that's not lacking even though your partner isn't home. Okay, this is a great question. how to know what's worth complaining about. I think you're just going to have to learn that in time. I think you're going to have to put your foot down. I addressed this in the last live Q&A a few Fridays ago, but if he's asking you every 5 minutes to fight battles and to make phone calls, you have to put your foot down and say no. Big things that can get him out, things that can get him in huge trouble, things that can get him put in a hole, things that can get him hurt. Those are the battles worth fighting. Things like the CEO disrespected me. This was an example in the last video. The CEO disrespected me and he told me to go to my room for 5 minutes, and now I feel like a little kid. Go call somebody. That's not a battle worth fighting. So you have to, I truly think it comes with time, but that's what SPWF is there for. So go to Facebook, go to wherever and where we are on social media and just ask. And somebody will tell you, yes, call somebody, or somebody will tell you, sweetheart, take a breath. Like, that is not a big deal. Relax. And there's probably more of that than the other. Although when the big things happen, we will absolutely tell you, get on the phone. We will tell you who to get on the phone with, and we will tell you what to say. So there's your answer. Sorry, guys, I'm getting distracted by the comments. Okay, so the next part, how to shift yourself from grumpy towards gratitude. That is a really good question, and I had to do that today when I had to get myself out of the bad mood after visit was canceled. So I started to snowball and I started to go downhill. And I thought for a second, okay, I have a choice, right? I could sit here and I can wallow and I could be upset. That's not going to change anything. So I texted a couple of friends. They pulled me out of it. That's a great tip to go from grumpy to gratitude. And you just sit there and you go, I have a choice. I can be mad and I can be bitter, but where's that going to get me? Or I could just sit here and say, okay, he's alive. He's breathing. I saved money from not having to go on the road. I got a day back at work that I didn't have to waste so I could use it again. Just start thinking of things that you have to be grateful for, and that's going to pull you out of it. So you just have to start shifting your mindset. It's not easy. A lot of times you want to be pissed off and you want to wallow, but just remind yourself, where is that going to get me? Sometimes you just need a breather. Sometimes you just need to count to 5. Sometimes you need to stand up from your desk, go outside, walk around the building, walk around the house, take a breather, come back, and things will be better. You could practice things like alternate nostril breathing in 5, and then, or just deep breaths, just get yourself into a calming mindset and then just start focus on things. Even if it's like, I'm grateful my eyebrows are on point tonight. I'm grateful that I woke up this morning. I'm grateful that I had gas in my car this morning. I'm grateful my coworker put a cup of coffee on my desk. I'm grateful for my beautiful children. I'm grateful I am in a relationship. I am grateful. Whatever it is, just start naming things that you're grateful for, and that will pull you out of it. It's not going to make the bad situation go away. I still couldn't go anywhere today. I still miss him more than anything, but I chose to not hone in on that and tunnel vision that and get stuck there because it's not going to do anything for me. You just have to remind yourself that. Here's another example totally out of this life, right? My mother is very, very ill. She had breast cancer that traveled to her bones. It is all up her back. It's in her ribs, throughout her pelvis, in her skull now, and she's having a very rough time. Her ribs are crumbling from the cancer, so it's pressing on her lungs. She's having a very difficult time breathing. So she found this doctor who is doing very pointed radio surgery for her, okay? When she goes in for a mask over a mesh mask, my mother has an intense phobia. She's a phobia of anything over her face. So let's say she goes in for like a routine surgery before she got sick and they put the breathing mask over your face, she'll flip out. She tells them, you have to wait for me to be asleep before you put the mask on me, please. Like, she goes into severe anxiety attacks. Okay, now let's go back to her radio surgery. They have this huge mask and they put it on her face really, really tight. And then so her eyes are squished. She can't open her eyes because the mask is so tight. It's over her nose, it's over her mouth. Remember, trouble breathing, okay? And then they take that and they bolt it to the table. This way, she can't move during that 15 minutes because if she moves, the radiation can hit her brain and cause severe brain damage. It can hit other areas around your face and your brain that is no good for you. It can cause paralysis, brain damage, etc. So she told me the other day, and then she has to pull on these handles, right? To keep her, because if she's pulling her muscles asymmetrically, she won't move. It lessens the chances of her moving. So she told me the other day, I'm like, Mom, how do you get through this? She said, well, the first time I took my Valium, because they prescribed it for her for the anxiety for that. She said, but I, superwoman, have to go to work right after this, after traveling to the city at 6 o'clock in the morning, an hour away, getting her radiation, doing the whole mask and everything, disoriented, whatever, traveling back an hour, goes straight to work for the next 8 or 10 hours. Crazy woman, will not retire. I've tried. Anyway, so she said I was falling asleep the rest of the day from the medication, so I just have to suck it up. And I just tell myself the whole time, this is me healing. This is for my healing. This is worth me healing. This is me healing. This is healing my body over and over and over again for 15 minutes. And that's how I get myself through it. Now, if this woman who is dying, cannot breathe, has a mask with a phobia, bolted to a table behind her and is pulling, and the poor thing is probably 95 pounds and having trouble breathing and has no strength in her body from all of the pain, can do it, I dare you to not be able to do it. I dare you not to try, and then come back to me and tell me what your excuse is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you compare yourself. Nobody likes to play the comparison game when you're feeling like, oh, she's so much better than me. But compare yourself to somebody that has it worse than you, and you will see that that you have it so much better than you actually think. There's always somebody that has it worse than you. So that's my advice. That was a really long-winded way of me telling you how to get away from bitter and get to better, to get away from grumpy and get to grateful. Because yes, I might not be in my car and seeing him tomorrow, but my mother was bolted to a table today trying to save her life without being able to breathe very well. Okay, so the next one was what to expect. He was away for 2 years, and what to expect when he's coming home. Thankfully, 2 years isn't too long. He probably will still have a little bit of being institutionalized. And what I'm going to do is, because I don't have any experience with this, so I'm going to punt this question over to our admin Kat, who's had her husband home for 4 years. And I'm going to ask her she makes videos, very, very eloquent, very good videos. And she makes them and sends them to me for YouTube. So I'm going to ask her to do that specifically for you so she can answer your questions, because again, I don't have experience with this, and I can tell you in my theory, but really what good is that if I only have theories? I also have a video with Poochie coming up and a video with somebody else who served over 20 years who just got parole out of the feds because he was DC. So that's an awesome video I have coming up. I just have to connect with him next week. So know that that's coming. I just saw somebody said positive affirmations. Yes, 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 yes. To get yourself in a place of gratitude. So first of all, you guys know we have the new website coming. I have somebody putting the final touches on it next week. So I have affirmations and all that stuff all over there. I also have videos where I shared them. I plan to make future videos where I share positive affirmations specifically for our members, specifically for people in our position. So if you want that, just give me like thumbs up, give me comments so I know. And I literally have them written for myself, so why not share them with you guys? But yes, I think that was Gina that said that. I'm so with you, positive affirmations. What positive affirmations are just I am statements. So I am happy. I am beautiful. I am worthy of everything that I want and deserve in this world. I am worthy of respect, etc., etc., etc. Okay. The mask freaks you out too. So bad. Okay, I'm sorry. The comments come, they flash, and then if somebody else comments, I could see the flash again. So can't wait for the new website. Oh, me neither. Okay, so this came on Instagram. I'm hiding my engagement. Is this wrong of me? I don't want negativity surrounding us. No, I don't think that's wrong of you. I think it depends on who you're hiding it from. So I think that it goes back to what I said before, like you don't have to justify yourself or your relationship to anybody, right? But if you're hiding your engagement from like your parents, then that might be an issue if like you're close with them, right? So it just depends on your situation. If you're hiding your situation, if you're hiding your engagement because they have legitimate reasons for being concerned and you don't want to tell them because you don't want to hear it, and you'd rather just do this really quick and get married really quick because you know in the back of your head, you're doing something like the back of the head, there's a voice saying, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to do it really quick and I'm not going to tell anybody so nobody can talk me out of it, is very different than this is something that is sacred and holy and I don't want somebody bashing it because of the situation, but I know it's what's best for me. Then those are two very, very different things. So you have to ask yourself, what is my reason for hiding this? And is it a good enough excuse to continue to hide it? I hope that makes sense. Okay, where are the rest? These came in like photo form. So let me just try to open. I emailed them to myself, but the images didn't come through. So tap to download while that's downloading because it's slow. In the meantime, maybe I can get it on Instagram too. Okay. You guys can ask questions in the comments as well. So another one said, what is something that keeps your mindset on the right path? I love your page. Oh, sweetheart, thank you so much for that compliment. So I think, like we said, those positive affirmations, doing the positive comparison game where you're like, somebody has it better than, worse than me, I can do this. Also, for me personally, I just continue to live my life. I haven't stopped living my life. I do the things I love to do. Do I always do the things I love to do? Am I always happy? No. But then I have people who are there to kick me in the butt and say, it's time to get yourself together, girl. You had your 24 hours. Let's go. And then I do what I have to do to continue going. Like I set goals and I attain them. And I also did have a question about goal setting. And I want to let you know that what I think, because I've gotten this a few times, and I do have my book about it. And I think what I'm going to do, if we have enough people who are interested, and I think we're going to have to like have a few different classes. I think we're going to have a lot of people that are interested. I think I'm going to run a goal setting class. I think I'm going to do it for you guys for free. So if you are interested, but I need you to be serious, and I'm only doing it for you for free if you promise me that you're going to do the work. If you're serious and you want me to spend my time, my precious limited time, running a goal setting class with and for you guys, I want you guys to comment and let me know, yes, I'm interested in the goal setting class. I'm interested in the class on how to get through this life and how to not, it's everything that I've ever taught you guys and everything that I've ever worked on, all consolidated into my book that I will make into a class for you guys for free if you promise me that you're serious, that you're going to do it. Oh, yay, we have interest. Okay, so I will get more information on that, and then I will talk about it in another video, and we'll get you a way to get me your email addresses so we can like do this. Interested in goal setting? Yes, 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 yes. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna go back on Instagram and see if we have any other questions there. How do you deal with him checking out someone else at visit? Ooh, this came up on the last one. So personally, I think if it bothers you, that is something that is very personal, right? So if mine was respectfully doing that, see, honestly, I've been going for like years and years and years, and that's never ever happened. In fact, he probably catches me checking people out. Like, look at how pretty she is, and not in a sexual way, like I'm totally straight into my husband, but more like, look at those shoes, look at that shirt, she's beautiful, look at that hair, oh my God, he's attractive. I'm like ADHD, kind of, like I've never been like diagnosed with that, but I'm like all over the place, especially in there. I get up way too early, I drink way too much coffee, I start crashing from not moving around so much. I'm a space cadet when I'm there. So he's trying to talk to me serious conversation, and I'm like, la 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 la, look at her over there, and he's like, hello, back here. So we've never had that problem. But when I do that, I'm like, look, she's so pretty. And he'll be like, oh yeah. So to me, not a problem. I don't have any insecurities with that. I don't have any jealousy with that. I am not saying you do. But what I'm saying is, if he was like drooling over somebody, I'm trying to have a conversation with him, and he's being disrespectful and like really like eye blanking somebody, then I would have to have a serious conversation with him and tell him exactly why it bothers me, tell him exactly what I believe he's doing wrong, and we need to talk through how that's not going to happen again. And if it continues to happen, I'm going to say, you know what? I love you and I love our visits, and there's nothing I love more than being here with you. However, if this continues, then I'm going to have to take a break until you can respect me being here with you. That is something that bothers me, but this is why. But remember, it bothers you for a reason. What is underneath that, right? Did he cheat on you in the past? Did he give you reasons not to trust him in the past? And this is why it bothers you so much. I'm not saying you who asked this question. I'm just saying anybody that has this question. I need you to soul search. I need you to ask yourself, what about this situation is bothering you so much? What feelings are coming up around this? What am I most afraid of when I see him doing this? And then talk to him about that. It's not just him checking somebody out. It's everything else underneath there that I need you to figure out and communicate with him. And then I know people won't do it. A lot of people are like, they ask the questions, but they don't want to hear the answers. I'm telling you, you might have to skip a couple in order for him to realize that he needs to shape up, or you're not going to come and continue to be disrespected. And that, I want to clarify something. That is not you punishing him, because a lot of people dangle things like money or visits over their head and dangle like, I'm not going to do it anymore if you do this. That's not what I'm telling you to do, because punishing him is ridiculous. He's not a 5-year-old. But at the same time, I don't want you to misconstrue that and say, well, I can't skip visits because that's punishing him, and giving yourself like giving yourself an out and letting yourself off the hook for having to do that because you're like enabling bad behavior because you're insecure that he's going to leave you if you skip one visit, or if you skip like $40 a month because you need to put that towards your rent. So I want you to know that there's a difference between punishing him and dangling things and saying, you disrespected me, I told you why, you did it again, so I'm skipping visit this month. I need you to be firm with him, because I'm telling you right now, nobody's leaving you for standing up for yourself. Nobody's being unattracted to you for standing up for yourself. That makes you so much more attractive. That puts you up here in somebody's eyes. Whether they act like it or not, they might act like a spoiled little baby, but they know deep down inside. And honestly, I've used this to myself before, and I don't mean for this to sound harsh. It's just for you guys that are insecure about doing that. Where is he going to go? Right? And I'm not saying like, saying that in a way of like, ha 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 ha. I'm just saying like, what's the worst that's going to happen? And if he does leave you for standing up for yourself, goodbye. You stay there. I'm out here living my life, because I'm not going to hang around and sit around for somebody that's disrespectful to me, and neither should you. And back to those affirmations, I am worthy of respect. Look in the mirror. I'm pointing there because there's a mirror right there. Look in the mirror and tell yourself every day, I am worthy of respect. I command respect. I put myself in situations where I am treated with respect. Repeat that, repeat that, repeat that, because eventually you'll believe that. And you do. You do deserve respect. Okay. There's more. I love your dedication and strength. How do you stand by him with this long of a sentence? Do you get afraid that you could have done this or that with your life, which you could turn into resentment? In one word, yes. It's just something that I deal with. It's a choice that I make every single day. I do not resent him because I choose to do this. However, there have been times where I've felt a little bit resentful. Like I even said to my friend Lauren last night, I was like, I'm just kind of like over it. And I said these words. I was like, I need to rephrase that because I do not want this to come across the wrong way. I am madly in love with him. It's not his fault. None of this is against him, but it's just, I am like over this. It's been way too long. I'm just done. And I was venting. Sometimes you need to vent it out, but I reevaluate every single day. Like, do I want to do this? Do I want to keep doing this? Can I keep doing this? How much longer can I keep doing this? And I just, like I said earlier, do not stop living my life. I think that's where you get to the point where you feel like you're resentful or you feel like you regret your decisions. But if you live your life and you set goals and goal setting class, but if you set goals and reach them, then there's not going to be that much room for resentment. If you talk through everything, like I really had to sit down and soul search and decide if I want to be a mom and if I'm okay with not having children. And I came to the decision on my own. I talked through it with him. I really, 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 really worked through it on my own because it's something that I needed to do on my own. Would I resent him if I didn't? Would I resent myself? Would I feel like I was at a loss in life? Would I feel like I was incomplete if I did not do that, if I did not have that experience? And I had to really decide, because that could be or should be a breaking point or an end factor in any relationship, no matter where he is. And I decided I'm okay with not. I am truly, 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 wholly and deeply, because you can't lie to yourself or that's going to come out later in resentment and regret and disease and all of that bad stuff. But I'm truly okay with that. So I think that those are the things that you need to work through. Those are the things that you need to do. Those are the things, the exercises that you need to work through to make sure that you are okay with this. I love, I just found out did anything. How can I didn't do anything talking about? I think unfortunately it's just time. Time's going to heal that one. You know, you have to go in, like I've worked really hard at that. I go in and what the first thing I say when I walk in the door is good morning. I'm not overly too much because that's obnoxious, but I'm very respectful. I dress very respectfully. I follow the rules. I say thank you. They open a door. I say thank you. We pass through 1, 2, 3, 4 doors to visit. I say thank you every single time, to the point where I'm probably annoying, but I will use my manners. I will be respectful conversations. I will not cross a line. I will always, if they tell me it's time to leave, I will stand up for myself. Like, one time they locked the door and they weren't supposed to, and they were telling us, you have to leave, you have to come back after 10:30. And I said, well, can I speak to a lieutenant, please? Because that's not the way the rules are supposed to go. I didn't start a fight. I was respectful about it. I stood up for myself, but at the same time, if it's time to go, it's time to go. If they tell you, hey, don't do that, don't do that. If they make up some new rule, as long as they're being respectful to you and not taking advantage of you. You have to stand up for yourself, but you have to find that line. And then you just build rapport, just like you would at an office, just like you would anywhere else in life. And it sucks because sometimes you have to swallow your pride, but that's what's worked for me. Like I said, I treat everything like it's professional. I dress as professional, maybe not professionally, but I dress as by the rules as I possibly can. I'm just respectful. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take building rapport, and it's just, you're gonna have to learn and also he's done not going to start any problems. How can we apply for the goal setting class to aspects of life besides being prescribed? Yes, of course, that applies to it's 100% not just prison wife class. I am just offering it to you guys. It is about goal setting in every aspect of life. I'm going to get myself together. I'm going to figure, I have the book written. I don't have the class written yet. So I don't know how many weeks we're going to do. I'm going to talk to my team. We're going to figure it out. And then I will offer it to you guys. Thinking maybe after the holidays will be good, because before the holidays, who has time for anything, right? It's like crazy. And I'm going to need you guys to actually dedicate your time to doing this and do it. So I will be back on a video and we'll post on social media after I talk to our team and we hash out the details, and you guys will be the first to know. I saw a question pop up, but somebody comment so they can pop up again for me, because I don't see them. I did see Lauren hop on earlier, you guys. It's her birthday, so please, and she's having a rough day. She was supposed to fly up here for a visit with me for her birthday weekend. We were going to hang out together. She was going to finally get to meet Adam, etc., etc., etc. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. So she had no plans for her birthday because she had plans that got canceled. Heartbreaking. So please leave her sweet comments and birthday wishes in the comments. I'm trying to go on Instagram to see. Please make sure to post on SPWF too. Oh, yes, of course. Okay, Brooke, sure. It froze when we were talking about what he has to do. I don't know where I was. What he has to do. You mean like what he has to do on the inside to prove himself? Is that what you mean? I could say it again. I just don't know what you're talking about. So while you repost that, let me look on Instagram and see if we have any other questions that came through. But please feel free to repost and just jog my memory on what you're talking about. I think that's what you're talking about, but I just want to make sure. I keep losing connection. I'm sorry. And it's about like talking about this. My phone keeps disconnecting. Okay. I think that might be my sign, because we've been going on for 50 minutes. If you, LD, have further questions or you didn't get that answer, just email me. I know you have my email address because we've emailed before, so feel free to email me. I don't see anything else that came through on Instagram. I'm just scrolling down to make sure, but I think we're going to go in a second because my connection's getting spotty. We've been going for almost an hour. And I love you guys. I love doing this for you. I'm kind of a little distracted today because of what's going on with my mom in the city. I can hear she came home downstairs, so I want to go check on her and make sure she's okay. So we will. Yes, it was what he had to provide. Yeah, okay, sure, no problem. I don't see anything more on Instagram. I think we're okay. Next time, you guys, that I do this, I will make sure that I give you guys more notice. Again, this was last minute because I always like to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I was going to post with Lauren today when I picked her up from the airport. We were going to do like a vlog, but that didn't work out. So I wanted to come on. Can you address the question about drugs and alcohol Instagram? Can you address the question about drugs and alcohol Instagram? Maybe do you mean in prison, drugs and alcohol in prison? Okay, I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and ask here, are there any LGBTQ people on here? Great question. I believe we have some people on the Facebook page, but I'm not, I know we had, but I know that those couple of people have moved on, but we have to. please, if somebody's on here, respond to Ray Ray. And Ray Ray, we're going to ask for you on our social media pages. Okay. Will Trump be doing the same thing as Obama? There is speculation, but again, it is just speculation. Nobody knows unless it happens. Nobody knows until it happens. Supposedly it's going to happen. Supposedly he says it's going to happen, but President Obama said he would get through all 10,000, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of petitions, and there were 10,000 still left on the table untouched when he left. So, that's just how it is. So what was the question I was in the middle of answering right before I responded to Ray Ray? Let me see if I could scroll up here. I can't. Oh, drugs and alcohol. I think you mean drugs and alcohol in prison. It's there. And if they're an addict, my suggestion is to make sure that there are like NA and AA meetings inside. There is in the feds, there's RDAP, RDAP, the program. I don't know what that stands for, but it's their drug and alcohol program. They need to do the work because it is rampant in there. If they want it, they will get it. So it's just a matter of doing the work and putting their minds to it. It's just like them being out here. It's probably worse because it's in there. They're stuck in there and it's there and it's their escape. So they just have to work really hard to stay away from it and to make sure that they focus on, like we were saying before, either being grumpy or being grateful. They have to focus on what they have. They have to focus on you. They have to focus on what they're coming out to. They have to focus on all of that stuff so they don't get trapped in, I'm just going to do this and escape, and potentially, who cares if I get more time? Who cares if I get caught with this? Who cares this and that? I just want to get high. I just want to escape. An addict is an addict, and they need to work their programs. They need to work their programs in order to stay clean. So there's nothing that you can do to force them to do that. They have to want it on their own, but you just have to sit there and encourage them and do what you can, but do not enable them. Do not enable them in there. Do not enable them out here. And I think what I'm going to do as I'm talking through this is get somebody who has more experience with this and maybe do an interview with them. Maybe I will find some sort of drug and alcohol counselor. Maybe Dr. Avon will want to do it with me. I don't know. Sometimes I get thoughts and I like spit them out of my mouth. But I think that we're going to need something like that. Maybe our volunteer who also has certifications and stuff. I don't want to give her name or anything, and I don't want to give her qualifications out if she doesn't want me to. So I will speak to her about maybe doing something with me. If anybody here has experience, I know we used to have a really good friend on Instagram and Facebook who was actually a drug and alcohol counselor. Since we've lost touch. But if anybody here has that experience and would like to get involved and do some sort of either interview with me, video with me, blog post with me, I would love it. And I'm sure our members would love it because again, I don't have that much experience, but all I can tell you is it's in there and they have to work their programs. Please do an interview about the drugs in prison and all that. It would be beneficial to me to relate to my mister. Okay. And I also, you guys, have Poochie and the other guys that can help as well. I heard 80% of people inside are from drugs and alcohol, which made them make bad decisions. Yes, absolutely, 100%, you are right. Okay, so I already said goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye again. I love that you guys spent your Friday night hanging out with me. I love that you brought your questions. I hope I answered them. I hope that we can do this again soon. I am so excited for a goal-setting class coming in the very near future, so stay on the lookout for that. And any other questions you have, any other requests for videos you have, if you like certain videos like the hacks I have so much fun making, visit outfits I have so much fun making, I should do one of those this weekend, anything like question and answers that I do, or what else do I do, vlogs if you want those, wife hacks, product reviews, makeup reviews, even though like I'm not a pro by any means, whatever you guys want. I want you guys, oh, hi, sweetheart. I want you guys to put in the comments. You guys, there's the phone, so I'm going to go. Keep staying strong, keep loving strong, keep supporting one another through this journey because you're one day closer to it all being over. Lots of love for my heart to yours. And one thing that you can do for me to help us out and get our channel out there is to thumbs up this video. Make sure you're subscribed and keep watching our videos on our channel start to finish. That will help us so much. Love you guys. See you in the next one. Bye. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your visits tomorrow.